Welcome to Lea County Pod. Our host is Pete Melidnik. Our special guest today is Rebecca Long. Pete, will you please take off?
Thank you, Jack, and welcome, Rebecca. We're eager to talk with you about your role as entrepreneur. I would say inventor, too.
I am, yes.
And I guess my first question is, how did you get involved with the perfect lighted mirror and grooming tool?
Okay, so thank you both so much for inviting me on to your Lea County Open Mic podcast. I appreciate you both so much. The At Last Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool is the name of the product. And I got started with this. I had meetings, lots of meetings in Santa Fe. So I was up there for a meeting. I had a meltdown in a Santa Fe hotel room because the lighting was bad. The mirror I had was just terrible. And so it made me late for a meeting. My seat was up on the auditorium stage, and there's an auditorium full of folks in there. And I thought, you know what, I can't let this happen again. So it sent me on a journey of 2 years to buying every lighted magnification mirror out there, and nothing was what I needed. So for 2 years, I spent all that time, thousands of dollars, couldn't find what I need. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have to invent my own mirror. So that's actually how it started.
Oh, how interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, from personal experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how long ago was that?
Oh gosh, that was about 8 years ago now.
Gee.
And so it just takes a long, again, I spent 2 years just trying to find what I needed. So it sent me on the journey to find a design engineer. Well, we don't have any design engineers in Lea County that I know of. So I met with one in Albuquerque, and he just absolutely did not get what I needed. Met with the second one in Albuquerque that came up with a couple of things, but it wasn't what I needed. So finally, I found a friend of a friend knew a design engineer in Austin. So I knew exactly the size of the mirror, how the lighting needed to look. I knew everything about it except how to make it move, because it is 3 mirrors in one. It's a regular mirror, a 5 magnification, and a 10 magnification with LED light. It has rechargeable battery, and it folds down and goes into a case. So the whole point of this invention of mine is it's a full-size, lighted, rechargeable makeup mirror that folds down and goes into a case. Now, I wanted to call it timeless makeup mirror, but my patent attorney did the deep dive, did the search on that, and found that Revlon has a timeless beauty makeup mirror. So there's a little conflict there. So we thought about the name, and my sister actually came up with the name At Last. And that's how At Last Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool was born. Yes.
Okay. And how much does one cost?
Well, this mirror, I found a patent attorney. Let me backtrack a little bit. So I found a patent attorney, and for those of you listening out there, I have a patent attorney that you can actually trust, because you hear horror stories all the time of folks giving their idea to a patent attorney and it not working out very well for them. It either their idea gets stolen, or, and I'm not dinging the good patent attorneys out there, so don't take it that way, because there's a lot of good ones, but either their idea gets stolen or they never get a patent on it, and they spend thousands and thousands of dollars without a patent. So there's some crazy things. So I have a great patent attorney that is thoroughly trustworthy. If anyone needs anything, they can always reach out to me. So we got the patent attorney and found a manufacturer. The mechanical designer that I was working with had already been working with a manufacturing company. Now, that manufacturing company is in China, and I tried everything I could not to have the product made in China. It was designed, it was It was developed, designed, everything right here in the United States. But it took me another year to find someone that did magnification mirrors. I called every mirror manufacturer in the United States. Spent months and months and months in a year on doing that. Every phone call ended in this. No, we used to manufacture 5 and 10 magnifications, but we don't anymore. We have those done in China. So I had no choice but to go to China because I cannot get the 5 and 10 magnification mirrors in the United States. So that's how China even came into the mix of this. I did not want to do that, but that's the reality of it. So the design engineer knew a manufacturer that he had worked with, that he could trust, that we could trust for my product. And so I reached out to them, and they asked me, how long do you want this product to last? And I said, I want this to last many, many, many years. And said, okay. So you asked me the price of it, and I've come full circle back to that. I could have had this made as a product that would be a throwaway product, very cheaply and inexpensively made, which could have probably sold for $100. I did not want to put my name on a product like that because we really have is our good name when it comes right down to it. So I told them I wanted it to last for years. So this is actually $249, and it will last. I don't even know. I still use every day in my office the original prototype from 8 years ago. And it's still going strong. So I'm thinking this thing will last 20 plus years. We don't know for sure, but the lights are rated for 50,000 hours, which means the lights are going to outlive me. So, and another thing we did with this product and why I think it's worth every penny of the $249 is that we have replacement parts. That is unique to this industry. Very unique. I'm the only one that does that. So if you buy an At-Last makeup mirror and grooming tool and you drop it and break the light cover or break any of the 3 mirrors, all you have to do is call me and you get a replacement mirror. It's a great thing. And I had a phone call this morning, as a matter of fact, from a lady that has dropped hers and broke the first mirror, which is just the regular one. I told her, drop by here, because she lives close. You can mail it to me and I can fix it. But it literally takes me 30 seconds because we designed this to take it completely apart to repair anything that might happen to it, so that you don't have to buy a new one. You can just buy a replacement part. So again, worth every penny of the $249 because it's a long-term product.
You know, you've almost got me reaching for my back pocket, my wallet, my credit card.
Absolutely.
Because I'm definitely interested. You get what you pay for. And Jack, before we leave, I want to look at it again, but you'll be.
Yes. And so
I don't want to
two
say
are the
amazed,
perfect.
it's an overused word, but
Yes.
It's different from looking in a plain mirror.
Well, in most magnification mirrors in a 5 and a 10x are horribly distorted. So I had to go through 20 different glass manufacturers to find good, crisp, clear magnification. And that's another one that sets me apart from everybody else out there. I know mine are crisp and clear because I did the back work, the groundwork to make sure that my mirrors were the best out there. So you two are the perfect example. Pete, you are clean shaven. Jack, you have a lot of facial hair, and it works both ways for men. I have men buy these for themselves as well. And we put the man's grooming tool on their sticker on their mirrors, the men's grooming tool. But skin cancers on their face, skin cancers on their ears that they need to watch very closely. It's a great thing, but they also buy them because it's the perfect shaving tool. Because as we get older, why would we need magnification? Because our eyesight changes. You know, Pete, you and I both have on glasses. Jack, I know you can wear contacts. But with that, shaving sometimes is a little interesting because you really don't shave well with glasses on. You can't hit all the pictures, and you don't put on makeup well with your glasses on. So magnification as you get older is an absolute must in my opinion. And so we do these. I have a great story if we have time. Right when I first came out with these, I had a lady call me, and she said, I hear you have this lighted magnification mirror thing. I'd like to talk to you about that. I said, yes, we do. And she said, my husband is 80 years old. He still likes to shave every morning, but he can't see well enough to get it done to his satisfaction. I said, you know what, let's do this. Let me come to your house. So I went to their house here in Hobbs. We sat down at the kitchen table, and the man looked in the first mirror. I showed him the 5 magnification, and then I showed him the 10 magnification. And he said to his wife, honey, grab my razor and bring it in here, please. So she brought it into the kitchen table. We started with the regular mirror. He said, you know what, flip it to that next one. He started shaving in that 5 magnification, and he looked up at me and said, this is perfect. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just a makeup mirror, it's a grooming tool for men as well.
And you're talking about challenges and also rewards that you've had with the mirror. Any other thing along that area?
Well, challenges we've spoken a lot about. It was hard to find a mechanical engineer, design engineer, hard to find a patent attorney, almost impossible to find magnification mirrors. And so those were a lot of the challenges, and I just had to keep moving forward. Honestly, I would set it down for a month and say, you know what, this is just too hard. This is just too much. Forget it. And then it just kept poking me. It just kept poking me. I thought, you know what, I've got to finish this. So we did. Now on to rewards. I get the funnest texts and emails from men because at Christmas time, we're on W105 radio station, and they endorse me every morning. So all the men in the oil field hear about this mirror and how it is a great gift for their wife. Because let's face it, after you've been married for a while, you're not really sure what gift to get because you've given jewelry and flowers and everything you can think of, and you never thought of a makeup mirror till you heard that endorsement on the radio. So they call, they buy mirrors, or they come in. I get texts and calls and emails from them later going, oh my gosh, thank you for making me a hero this Christmas. My wife, my daughter, my mother, everybody absolutely loved this mirror, and thank you so much. I feel great because I finally found something that they will love for this Christmas. And so that's a really great reward. Another great reward is we're getting out there in the country women's music genre right now. I have an endorsement from Linda Davis, and you can see it on my Facebook and my Instagram posts. Linda Davis loves this mirror and endorsed it for me, and there's a little video. She gave one to Reba McEntire, and I hear that she loves it. I have not gotten to speak with her myself. Louise Mandrell called me about 3 weeks ago now because Linda Davis gave Barbara, Louise, and Erlene Mandrell all a mirror.
Wow.
And so Louise called me and said, I've been on 3 trips now. I love this mirror. I'll never leave home without it. And Martina McBride, I was able to meet her about 3 years ago. And I ran into her tour manager. And he said, do you know how long we have needed something like this? We've been traveling with a huge lighted mirror, and this is small and compact. It folds down and goes into a travel case. This is perfect for what we do. Huh. And so I got to meet Martina McBride, and she looked at me and said, everybody I know is going to want one of these. So we're having a lot of fun. I've been endorsed by Miss Rodeo America, Miss Rodeo New Mexico, and Miss Turquoise Circuit. And so we're just having a lot of fun. So there's a lot of reward in helping folks, just like the 80-year-old man, helping him shave every day, but along with helping folks get ready for an award show in the country music or in the rodeo queen arena. So wonderful rewards.
And I might interject, you've done all of this in addition to not only having a full-time job,
Yes.
but being a county commissioner in your years of doing that. And I get the impression that while you've got the potential to be pretty lucrative financially, I get the impression you're not in it for the money.
Oh, no, no. We love, At Last Makeup Mirror loves helping people. One thing that we do, and you're right, it's, of course, I want to make some money at it, but helping folks is the real reward of the thing. And another reward is we give, every October, we gift makeup mirrors to Lee Cancer Center up in Lovington. And they put this in a bag with lots of other items for the women that are going through cancer treatment there. They put the mirror, the women can pick out a wig, they have videos and books about cancer. And so I get huge reward, and it just warms my heart to help those ladies. And I get cards and letters and thank yous from a lot of them saying, I quit wearing makeup because I just couldn't see well enough to do that. Now, with your magnification and your lighting, I can see to draw on my eyebrows where they used to be. And I feel great when I go out in public now. I feel normal again with this makeup mirror as far as makeup goes. I know they're having a lot of other issues, but as far as their makeup goes, it's helping them with that. And I've heard from several women, and this seems to be one of the overriding themes in this instance. They will look at it and say, I can see my tiny eyelashes growing back, and that gives me hope. Oh, I tell you what, that'll get you. And so many rewards with this, and that is one of the best ones right there.
Yeah, and it's possible that she can see that tiny eyelash because this mirror is unique, and you pretty much invented it.
I did invent it, yes.
Yeah, that to me would really, I don't know, it is very meaningful.
Right.
Too, the creativity part
Right, to
of it.
invent something that helps others is really rewarding. And, to have 3 patents tells you that it's unique, because not everyone can get a patent on something they think up and invent.
And that leads me to ask, Rebecca, do you have a plan for another invention in the works? If I can call it an invention. Well, it is an invention.
Variations of this are in the works right now. One thing that we did just do is one of these in a wall mirror. And the men are really liking this for grooming issues. So this mirror that we're talking about, the main mirror, folds down and goes into a hard zippered case that you can take with you. And I know my husband loves the lighted magnification mirror that goes on the wall. So we have done that one. And so there's just different variations of this invention that we're working on right now. But as far as some totally different random, no, because this one is like a full-time job just keeping up with inventing the variations of it and marketing and just getting the word out. Because let's face it, people can't buy this if they don't know it exists. So there has to be a big marketing campaign going on in the background as well. And that's very time consuming, but a lot of fun.
Sure. And it has to do with the image and presentation and how we see ourselves and others see us too. So important. But getting back to the patent aspect,
yes.
That seems to me like it could be challenging and arduous. Do you want to talk more about what's involved?
Well, the hardest thing for me was to find a good patent attorney that I could trust. And so that happened. A friend of a friend knew the patent attorney that I use. And so first thing in the patent process is to find out if your product is actually patentable. So what you have to do, I'm fixing to save, if anybody's listening to this that has an idea, I'm fixing to save you a few $1,000s or so. Listen closely to this part. and I didn't know any of this when I started this, but you must do a very deep dive into every, like, Google, look at Amazon, go on DuckDuckGo, every one of the online forums. Check and see if there's anything like your product that you're thinking about out there. When you have thoroughly exhausted every avenue, that's when you go to your patent attorney, because you've done the research. The patent attorney has people on their staff to do that. They do the deep dive to see if it's actually patentable or if it infringes on some other patent out there. But you can do a whole lot of that and save yourself a few $1,000s by doing it yourself and taking all your findings to that patent attorney and say, here's what I've already done, and I know this kind of looks like it, but here's how it's different, or there's nothing like it out there. Then they still do their deep dive that they can do, but you've done a lot of the groundwork ahead of time. So that's my advice to folks that are thinking about patenting something. So the process is, then they do their deep dive and they come back and tell you, yes, it's patentable, or no, it's not patentable. Well, mine was a yes, and I knew it was because I've never seen anything like this.
And does it involve, I imagine it involves copyright?
Well, copyright is a little different. This is an actual patent. So I have 3 patents. One is copyright's different. I have a utility patent, which is for the way it moves. I have 2 of those because nothing moves like mine. Nothing out there has 3 full-size mirrors that move. Another patent is the design patent, the way it looks. And I made it look different. It's not round. It's actually, it's not rectangular. It's called a, oh my goodness. I say this word all the time and now I can't think of it. Ellipse.
Oh, okay.
It's an ellipse is what it is, which means it's just rounded off the corners of the rectangular. And so nothing has that look out there. So I have 2 utility patents, the way it moves, and 1 design patent for the way it looks. We have a 4th patent pending, which would be a third utility patent for the way it moves. So it's always great to keep a patent on hand so that your competition doesn't know what else is going to be allowed by the Patent and Trademark Office.
And the attorney takes care of all the legal...
He does. I wouldn't have a clue how to file that. So it's very involved on their end, and it's not cheap. I mean, it's very expensive. So they have to draw everything out to the minute detail of how this works, how it looks, how it works, and they have to submit all those drawings to the patent office.
Now, your attorney, again, is in Albuquerque?
No, he's in Austin.
Austin, okay.
Yeah, so my patent attorney and my electrical engineer and my design engineer were all in Austin.
Okay.
It just happened that they all knew each other. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. So. And you know, with all the musicians and performers in Austin, the mirror could be very popular there.
It could be, yes. And so we're starting to get out. So we're huge. We've sold several thousand of them right here in just our local Lea County area. And so now we're into the Lubbock area and making some inroads over there. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a ribbon cutting October the 9th. The Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting October 9th in Lubbock. Wow. And so we're kind of, again, they can't buy this invention of mine if they don't know it exists. So we're having to get out, or we're lucky enough to be getting out into other areas now.
So the ribbon cutting will be in a particular place in Lubbock?
Yes. Yes, it will. And so I can get you more information on that later. But yeah, we're going to have a ribbon cutting October 9th.
Yeah. Coming up soon.
So, and then we're about to start making inroads in Midland and Odessa. A lot of these oil field guys that hear our endorsement on the radio every morning live in those areas. And the cool thing about this is if these guys come in and buy one, they have their wife or girlfriend or mother, whoever sends them back in to buy more. Well, I love this. Let's buy one for all the girls in the family. So it's a cool deal. Yeah.
Well, I'm certainly, thinking hard about it,
Mm-hmm.
buying one.
Yes.
Certainly, yeah.
Well, all the guys on the radio have one, and they talk about it all the time. Where one of them straightens up their goatee, in that. Another one shaves in that, and so it's a grooming tool for
Sure.
men.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, if I may interject, sort of going at a tangent here.
Hmm.
We've heard about this wonderful mirror, what it can do, and all that. But let's hear about Rebecca Long. Are you a native to Lee County, or
Well,
what's your story?
I was born in Muskogee, Oklahoma. There you go. And so, but my dad was a school teacher, so we lived in Oklahoma, California, Arkansas, California, and then Lovington. So I've been in New Mexico since second grade. Grew up in Lovington, graduated high school from there, went off to college for 1 year, and came back and got into the insurance business. So I've been an insurance agent since I was 19 years old, and still doing that again, or still doing that now. As a matter of fact, we're sitting in my insurance office right now and the makeup mirror office. 42 years later, I'm still loving this. Absolutely loving this. Since age 19, here I am 42 years later. Married to the perfect guy for me, Steve Matlock, great guy. Mother and sister still work in the insurance business with me, and that is a true blessing. I was a county commissioner for 8 years, termed out last year, but had some great. The 8 years was just wonderful because as a county commissioner, it's totally nonpartisan. You're an elected official for everyone in your district, and you are about having good roads, good environmental processes, just everything that your folks in your county need. You get to help in all those different directions. And so the 8 years as a county commissioner was really a wonderful thing. And so I termed out, and that really slowed me down from being able to get the word out on the makeup mirror. Because being a county commissioner, if you really are involved in doing the things that your constituents are asking you to do, goodness, it's like 3 and 4 full-time jobs. And that came first before the mirror, to be honest with you, because I was elected to do that, and I took that very seriously. So now that I termed out last year, I've been able to get out on a much larger scale than just right here locally.
Okay, so we have a story about hops, pretty much, is that when you get out of high school, you scatter to the four winds. And people want to get out of Hobbs. I mean, young people.
Right.
I've heard the stories. Get out of Hobbs, get out of this small place, and go do something out there in the world. What kept you here?
Wonderful family ties. I've never spent, I'm 62 years old now. I've never spent a Christmas away from my mother. Is that not crazy? Never. And so I just have close relationship with my family. My sister's worked for me for 40 years now. She's works with me. She's a licensed insurance agent as well. And so just the close-knit family kept me here. But also I believe in this. I love our area. We have the most beautiful sunsets here in the desert of New Mexico. I understand wanting to see mountains and all these other places. But to me, there's no place like home where you grew up. You hear a lot of young folks move away, and a lot of them will come back here. And so I say to all those young folks, stay here. Grow where you're planted. Grow where you're born. Make this the best place in America to live. If you want more music, you bring it here. If you want more stores, you bring it more here. If you want more restaurants, you bring it here. Build up and grow where you were planted and born and make it the coolest place in America to live. And that has always been my thought process. So for all you kiddos out there, there you go. That's my advice.
And for myself, you mentioned Deborah. She and I met each other. Shudder. No, not really to think of how many years ago it was.
Yes.
But in my office, we're sitting in your office right now, and she and I met each other in my office. Her daughter was a student in one of my classes, and Deborah stopped by, and that made me think of one thing in that office that's part of the New Mexico Junior College, and we used to have cosmetology right across the walkway from the building where I worked for 30 years. Now it's expanded and it's a little bit further away, but it's on the campus. But cosmetology would be a
Absolutely.
perfect place to know about your mirror.
Absolutely. And I have not popped out there to visit with him about this, but it's an invaluable tool to have. So what I mostly call it is a beauty tool. To me, it's not a makeup mirror. It's my morning beauty tool. It's a morning shaving tool for men. It's a keep an eye on the cancer on your face or ears tool for men and women both. And so you're right. It's to help in that aspect would be great for the cosmetology schools. Absolutely.
In a sense too, how you look is how you are, and
Yes.
Again, back to image and self-image, whatever, too. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure that cosmetology is growing like the rest of the junior college
Yes.
in the community, in part because of the county commission and people working who care all about it. And I remember when I was working full-time, I was also pretty involved with a nonprofit group, the Lea County Humane Society, and it took a lot of my time.
Yes.
So I can relate to, the time that a county commissioner
Right.
must be
Right.
even a lot more than that.
Yes. Yeah. As an elected official, you must take that job seriously and do everything you can to better your community and take care of your constituents. Yes, it was a wonderful, wonderful time. You talked about we do look how we look. Absolutely true. And so to me, this is the perfect beauty tool for you to look your best. Not to be the most glamorous girl in the room or, the most looked at girl in the room, but it comes down to looking our best and working with what God gave us. And he knew what he was doing when he gave us exactly the looks that we have now. But it's a couple of stories. I have a friend in Florida, hi Jane, and she had basically quit wearing makeup because her eyesight had gotten so bad she just couldn't see anymore. So she gave up, and she was like, every day she's like, I don't feel like I look my best. And when I invented this, she got one of my prototypes, and she took it back to Florida with her, and she called me almost in tears saying, I can now see in that 10 magnification with this lighting to put on makeup and groom my eyebrows. And I got to tell you, this makes me feel pretty again. What a wonderful thing to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tool to help everybody look their best. So
I'm old enough to remember television. Jack and I were just talking on the way up here about radio programs and television in its infant stages, and I can remember some of TV in its infant stages, and I think it was a Gillette razor commercial, but it was look right, feel right, be right, and you'd hear it and see it on the TV, and there's a element of truth to that.
Absolutely, and that's kind of our tagline, the perfect lighted mirror and grooming tool. You know, that's our tagline that we use on everything because that's true. This is the perfect lighted mirror and grooming tool. Yep. Yep. Just like a razor. You guys need razors. There's no doubt. You know, because Jack, you have a beard and mustache and all that, but there's other areas that you shave. And so, yeah, razors are very important to you men.
And once again, Jack, you've got to see this mirror before we leave. Seeing is believing.
Right,
and
right.
it's been great to hear
Right.
you talk about it, Rebecca. And do you have anything that you'd like to add before we conclude our podcast for today?
You know, for those that are, and thank y'all for the podcast. This has been a fun time with y'all this morning. I appreciate you so much. And what a great podcast for Lea County, because you're going to do all kinds of different people in industries and interesting things for Lea County. So I appreciate you guys starting this podcast. I know it was something really new for y'all, and but it's turned out great, and I'm thrilled for y'all. But last thing I would like to add on the mirror is anyone hearing this podcast, you're welcome to pop by 226 West Vega in Hobbs. We have a showroom set up here in my insurance and makeup office, and you can just come by, no obligation. If you're thinking, what are they talking about, and you want to see it for yourself, pop in. We're happy to show you, no obligation to buy it anytime you're ready.
Well, thank you very much, Rebecca. And do you have anything you'd like to conclude with, Jack?
Do you have any specific social media that you would like to throw out there where people can contact you through, or anything like that?
Yes. So on our website is at lastmakeupmirror.com. So at lastmakeupmirror.com. On Facebook, at Last Makeup Mirror, and on Instagram, at last_makeup mirror. And so, yes, please follow me. We're always doing endorsements and videos and photos, all kinds of things. So would love for everyone to follow us.
Great. Thank you so much for your time and your graciousness. This is Jack Campbell signing off for Lea County Podcast. Please join us for our next episode.